Ann Bremner, attorney for Friends of Amanda Knox. Whatever happened to freedom of speech? I mean, my gosh, I hope the Italian cops don't come after me.
Well, I know, and I'm not going anywhere near Italy in light of my role in all of this and what I've said and what I've repeated. But there isn't. You don't have that in Italy, Jane. I mean, free speech here we take for granted. In Italy, if you supposedly libel somebody, then it's criminal and civil. And here, she was talking in her own defense. And her parents repeated what she said. That would be likewise privileged in the U.S., you know, protected court speech. But, of course, it's not in Italy, and she's indicted for it just like her parents.
Jay Wendell. What should the family do here? I mean, obviously, if they don't go back to Italy, I don't think they could be extradited. Like, if they're found guilty in Italy for making these comments to a newspaper a couple of years ago, they can't be brought to Italy for justice, can they?
Jane, I do not feel sorry for Amanda Knox. I'm sorry to tell you. Wasn't she the same girl who got popped in the head 2 times by the police and then said the Congolese man was responsible for this incident? It was like, pop, mamma mia, pop, Lumumba did it. I don't feel sorry for her. And she's brought this on her family. Her family's believing her, but she's a known liar. This Congolese man ended up doing some time in jail as a result of her saying that he was responsible.
All right,
for it.
Deb's fighting words. We're gonna have a reaction after the break. Ann Bremner, you're the attorney for Friends of Amanda Knox. Now, you just heard Jay Wendell, the criminal defense attorney, basically call Amanda a liar and say she tried to push all of this onto somebody who's already serving time, a drifter from the Ivory Coast by the name of Rudy Guide. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his last name. He was tried separately and is serving a 16-year prison sentence already.
I mean, this is a case where there's no blood, no fibers, no hair, no fingerprints, no evidence of Amanda Knox. I bring that up first when you call her a liar, use the L word. She's looking at an independent review right now, Jane, as you know, of the forensic evidence for the first time because there's a reasonable doubt on appeal. And we're going to know those results here shortly in May. So who's calling who, you know, a liar in this? And the fact of the matter is when she was interrogated for 9 hours overnight, we got rid of bare light bulbs swinging in the wind in interrogations back in the 50s and 60s with Miranda. She's coerced. She doesn't have an interpreter. It's not recorded. She doesn't have a lawyer. And she says there is physical force used. We don't indict people for presenting their own defense. And when her parents repeated that defense, when they've been through the ringer for 3 years in this case, defending their daughter, who they believe to be innocent, who we believe to be innocent, and they're looking at their own criminal sanction, and they're still going to be back in Italy seeing her every chance they can.
Well, let me ask you that question. Jay Wendell.
Yeah, isn't she a convicted killer? Why are we mollycoddling this convicted killer?
Well, first of all, there's 2 different issues here. We're talking about the Italian authorities apparently having some sort of vendetta against her parents. I mean, obviously her parents want to visit Amanda Knox in Italy behind bars. And if they get convicted for something, that's could very well preclude them from going to Italy. Therefore, the daughter is doubly punished as well as the parents. They'll never get to see each other again.
You're in Italy. Govern yourself accordingly. If you're going to shoot off at the mouth against the authority in Italy, you better know what the law is. I just don't understand. Help me.
All right, Ann, I want to give you a chance to respond.
Yeah, this is the same prosecutor who threatened to indict the West Seattle Herald for libel that doesn't even have a national or international section. There's a real problem with this prosecutor, abusive office, and abuse in this case, and now with their parents.
Yeah, and this prosecutor is also under investigation for funny dealings and a whole bunch of things.
He's convicted. He's looking at 16. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, tell us about the prosecutor.
I just think we're on very dangerous grounds when we start criticizing other people's judicial systems or justice systems abroad. We have enough problems with our own systems.
I am in favor of freedom of speech. And God forbid that nobody can talk about their daughter and say, hey, I think that this was not fair justice. Thanks.